You might not realize it, but right now there's a massive fight brewing over the future of the internet. And really, it all comes down to one simple but incredibly powerful question. I mean, who gets to make that call? Should it be the giant tech companies? Should it be governments? Or should it be someone else entirely? This isn't just a dorm room debate anymore. It is at the absolute center of a real-world conflict that could change everything about our digital lives. And to understand what's at stake, our story really kicks off in Europe, specifically with the super high-stakes political situation around the elections in Hungary. This whole thing has become a major flashpoint for this entire debate. Okay, so the European Union is telling internet platforms they need to start taking action against what it calls perceived disinformation. Now, I want you to focus on that one word, perceived. This isn't about removing stuff that's been proven illegal in a court of law. This is about moderating political speech before any legal judgment has been made. And this is where the two sides really dig in. On one hand, you have the EU, who sees this as a totally necessary step to protect their elections. But on the other hand, a company we're about to talk about sees this as a really dangerous precedent. You know, the beginning of state-led censorship, where governments can just lean on platforms to silence voices they don't agree with. So, faced with all this pressure from the EU, a small company based out of Albuquerque, of all places, has basically said, nope, not going to do it. They've drawn a line in the sand, and it's setting the stage for a classic David versus Goliath showdown. But here's the thing. Linkspreed's really bold stance isn't just some political statement. It's actually rooted in a whole technological vision for a new kind of internet, something they're calling Web4. So what on earth is Web4? Well, at its core, it's all about a power shift. It's about moving power away from these huge, centralized tech giants and putting it back in the hands of individual creators and their communities. Think of it as a fundamental move from a rented internet to an owned internet. Let's break this down with an analogy. Web 2, the internet we all use right now, it's like you're renting an apartment. Your landlord, one of the big tech companies, sets all the rules. They can change them whenever they want, and hey, they can even kick you out. Web 4, on the other hand, is like owning your own home. You and your community, you get to decide the rules. You control your own property, and nobody can just kick you to the curb because some outside group doesn't like what you have to say. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Is this just some lawless digital Wild West? And the answer is no, not at all. Linkspreed is really clear that this kind of freedom has to come with responsibility. Their whole framework is built on a foundation of established law, not anarchy. And this is the crucial point, right here. Their red line isn't a political narrative, it's legality. Any platforms using their infrastructure have to follow US law, and they have to follow the laws in the countries where their users live. But, and this is the big but, as long as the content is legal, they have pledged to never take it down just because of political pressure from anyone. And this quote from the company's founder, Mark Herdina, really just perfectly sums up their whole philosophy. They're saying, look, our job is to provide the tools for people to build their own independent digital spaces. It's not our job to be the referee of what's true or false in a political debate. So, okay, a fight over Hungarian elections and a small company in New Mexico, why does this actually matter to you? Well, because this isn't just about them. This is basically a test case for the future of the entire internet. It's setting a precedent for who gets to control our digital public square. The core idea here is actually pretty simple. Your social network, your rules. What does that mean in practice? It means a gaming community gets to decide for itself what counts as trash talk. A gardening forum can set its own policies on who can post ads. The power to moderate doesn't sit in some far-off corporate headquarters. It belongs to the community itself, governed by the very members who built it. So all of this brings us right back to that first question we asked, but maybe with a bit of a new perspective. It's not just about who has the power to hit the delete button. It's about the fundamental design of our digital world. As we build this next phase of the internet, the real question is, who do you want holding the blueprints?